So we're going to come up with an equation two different ways. So we need to end up with an equation that looks like y equals mx plus b. This, of course, is the y-intercept. And this is your slope. Well, if we look up here at equation 1, we can see y equals blank x plus blank. So that must be y equals mx plus b. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Well, let's call this point 1. Let's call that point 2. And we're going to use our slope formula. So if we plug the y for point 2, we have a -4. When we subtract the y from point 1, we're going to divide that by 10 minus 5. So what that's going to give us is m equals this -4 minus a -2. Well, this is going to turn into -4 plus 2. So we're going to end up with -2. And then 10 minus 5 is 5. So -2/5. That's our slope. So we can replace that m with -2/5 x. Plus, we can figure out what b is. Well, we want b, when we work with b, we want the x to be 0 and then the y to be some number. It could also be 0. If it were 0 also, we'd have the origin. But remember, the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. And the y-axis is at 0 on the x-axis. So let's take a look right here in the middle. So since we're done with slope, I'm going to erase point 1, point 2, because I want to show you something. So if we plot -5 and +5 on the number line, the 0 for the x would be dead center between the 5 and the -5. Dead center right there. So what that means is, since the 0 is dead center right there, our y value is going to be found dead center between the 2 and the -2. Well, if this were on the number line, the 0 is also dead center between the 2 and the -2. So that must mean that our y is 0. That means really the origin is where the y-intercept is. So that's where our line is going to go through. Alright. So that's okay to have 0 as your y-intercept. That just means we have a proportional relationship. That's all. Because remember, a proportional relationship is one where the line goes through the origin. Alright. Now we don't have to graph this. This from equation 1. Now, let's take a look at equation 2. Well, let's take our starting point, our y-intercept, and we notice that the y-intercept is going to be 4. And then let's find another point right there. So our rise would be from 4 to 6. That would be a rise of 2. And then from the y-axis over to where we meet with our line on our point that we picked out here, we find that that point is directly above 5 on the x-axis. So y equals 2/5 x plus 4.